All right, so the messenger arrives back to Blackfang, and he reads it saying, considering your demand, need 2 days. Let's find out if Blackfang will give him 2 days. We'll start even. First of all, let's find out randomly, even dice, if this angers Blackfang or not. Yes, it does anger him.
What is this crap? 2 days? He'll be lucky if I give him 2 hours. Go back. Burn down another building.
The mercenaries have their marching orders now. This building right here was the Constable's farmhouse. Completely destroyed, burned to the ground. So Blackfang has to issue them orders for another structure to burn. The buildings on the outskirts are the easiest, but Blackfang knows if he burns this building, it's a poultry farm. That might be something to consider because if he kills all the chickens there as well, that could be a food issue. So just randomly, let's see if he chooses to attack the poultry farm. Yes, he does. All right, so let's see how many troops Blackfang is gonna send in this time. I'm gonna roll a d20 and I'm gonna add 5 to it. So at minimum, they'll have 6 guys. Let's see what happens. So 16. This is a pretty big attack with 16 guys. So that kind of makes sense if you think about it. He needs, 4 or 5 guys to start the house on fire. He's going to need maybe another 5 or more to present security at the front. I don't think they'll need any security in the flank. And then he'll need some guys to go in and either steal or kill all the chickens. That might be something interesting to find out. Do they steal the chickens or kill the chickens? So we'll ask the question, do they kill the chickens? And if not, they will just steal them. Yes, they kill the chickens. Okay, so let's see how long it takes for them to get this attack together. You got to figure by the time the messenger gets back from Fandolin with the message, it's probably 8 o'clock, 8 in the morning. And then we'll do a d6 minus 3. So 2 hours later. So that would be 10 a.m. when they launch the attack. Very random roll. Also, will any townsfolk be tending to the poultry farm when it is attacked? Yes. All right, so we have to figure out which townfolk that is going to be. All right, so we're not going to include any of the constable's people or the heroes, or any heroes or any of the kids, and probably not any of the mothers at this point. Things are pretty tense in town. So we will go with Dain Fireforge he's the smithy. So will Dain Fireforge be at the poultry farm when it is attacked? It's very random. Yes. So Dain Fireforge is there. Is there anyone else there with him? We won't want a maybe right now. Is there anyone else with him? No. Okay, so Dain Fireforge will be the only one there tending to the chickens, gathering eggs and all that when the attack occurs. So let's find out if, while this attack is occurring, anyone out here. So let's find out if there's anyone within earshot of his voice. We won't stack the probability in any way. We'll just roll to see if anyone's nearby that can help. I don't want to maybe. Oh boy, there's no one nearby that can help. That sucks. So Dain is going to be in trouble. He's going to be tending to the chickens, gathering eggs, when 16 mercenaries show up. And nobody in the town is going to notice anything until they see the smoke from the structure rising high enough in the air. Now, what do the mercenaries do with Dain Fireforge? They can take him prisoner or eliminate him. I think what we need to do is to find out the temperament of the leader of this 16-man mercenary squad. That might help us stack probability one way or the other. So I'm sure you've realized long ago that all of this depends on how you ask these questions. Like, you can ask for something that you want first and hope that the dice give you what you want. And then, as we've seen just a few seconds ago, sometimes the dice won't give you what you want. So let's ask just a normal, even roll here. Is the mercenary leader kind-hearted? Yes, he is. Okay, so that would mean he probably wouldn't kill Dain Fireforge. But you could also ask, is there kind of a rogue soldier within the ranks that would try to kill Dain Fireforge? Now, that could be dangerous, because if there's a yes, then we have a really crazy situation going on. Could be interesting, though, for the story. Okay, so before we decide whether this rogue sergeant or whatever goes off and does something crazy, let's take a look at Dain Fireforge's reaction. He, historically in the campaign, is a pretty strong-willed guy. So let's find out what Dain Fireforge does when these mercenaries come bursting onto the property. I would say it's likely that he will fight. And depending on his reaction, if he decides that he's going to try to fight, then that might help inform us as to the probability for this rogue sergeant to go and do what he wants to do. So let's see if Dain Fireforge will fight these guys when they show up. Okay, he does. He decides to fight, which makes sense. All right, now, does Dain, we'll do this totally random. Does Dain Fireforge manage to kill one of the mercenaries during the fight? Yes. Okay, so yes, he does. So that informs us completely about this rogue sergeant that, okay, let's do this one step further. Was the soldier that was killed a good friend or a brother or a family member to the rogue sergeant we're thinking about? Yes, he was. Was he his brother? Yes. Okay, so Dain Fireforge fights and kills one mercenary, and it's the rogue sergeant's brother. So now we get into a situation where you've got this kind-hearted leader who's in a predicament now because his sergeant is going absolutely berserk and threatening to kill Dain Fireforge. Now, these are all humans at the moment, these mercenaries. And so we get into a situation now between the leader of the mercenary squad and this sergeant.